Hey guys, so it's the afternoon. I got out of work relatively early, and so I stopped by the gardening store, and the the plan was just to go and get some, I don't know, cucumber plants, right? Because I've been having issues starting my cucumber plants. So I was literally just going to go to Knowles and pick up some cucumber plants and go. And so the plan did not plan. And I ended up spending a lot more money than I had anticipated. And so I guess let me show you what I ended up getting. Because I'm a little embarrassed right now. Yeah. So just watch. Bring some stuff in to the greenhouse. All right. So right now I'm feeling like Melissa McCarthy in Bridesmaids. I took 9. That's the kind of energy I'm giving off. Yesterday there's a front patch in the front of the house that there used to be a tree, and so they had to cut down the tree, and it just looks like this really weird empty patch right in the middle of the lawn. So I kind of filled it in with a bunch of grass cuttings and whatnot, just so that I could, make it look a little bit nicer. But then I realized I don't really have a place to put all of the sunflowers. So one of the projects that's gonna probably be completed by Sunday is to kind of turn that into, I don't know, like a little flower bed or something. So they had the snapdragons at like 6 for $25. So here we go. First things first is the snapdragons. If I can even get them out of here. When you pack something and then it's really nice and you don't really know how the hell it is that you packed it so nicely. So you got a variety. So we got some snapdragons in different colors. I actually kind of like the pink ones. And they're kind of cute. So here we go. These are a little more red than they are purple, and then I actually have some that are like proper purple. Purple happens to be my favorite color. And then that's the other one. There's paper towels everywhere because I have a paper towel problem. It's the ADHD. And then, so this is some cinnamon basil. It smells absolutely delicious. I'm like obsessed with this. If I could bottle it and turn it into a fragrance that I could spray myself with, that would just be amazing. Let's see. And then it's never too early to start your fall and winter vegetables. So I got some dinosaur kale. This is actually pretty like weather hardy. So start now, so it's like nice and big by the time that you want that kind of vegetable. And then I did need some other varieties of hot peppers, so I got Calabrian chili. And then let's see what we got here. I got different type of kale. No, never mind, this is spinach, but I did get a different kind of kale. Let's see what we got here. And I got some eggplants that had already kind of started. So I got some fairy tale eggplants. Those are like the long, skinny, light purple looking ones. And then I got some of the Japanese eggplant, or aubergine, how I suppose it's supposed to actually be called. And then I got some celery, like an actual celery plant. And because the celery that I had, quote unquote, rescued, I didn't really rescue it. It didn't work out. There you go. That's the other kale. And then, again, just some Swiss chard. Never too early to start on your fall plants. So, I got that. And I got some more. I'm embarrassed. Alright. So, I've been having a hell of a time actually getting my basil to sprout. So, I just bit the bullet and went ahead and got a basil starter plant. Just need to figure out if this should go in a grow bag or if I should just invest in another potter. So, there's that. We got the basil. Some sweet basil. And then I got what I went to Nolson originally for, which is cucumber plants. So I got 2 different varieties of cucumber. You have plants like this that vine. You really want to have more than one plant, because they have to pollinate, right? So when they flower, the fruit, whatever, it comes from behind the flower. But if you don't pollinate the flower, it's not going to fruit. And, you know, some of these are self-pollinating. Most of them are not. So then if you end up with like a single male plant, right, that's not going to fruit. But if you end up, you know, with a combination of your male and your female plants, then they can cross-pollinate and actually fruit. Let's see. It's one of the cucumbers, yeah. So I got my pickling cucumbers here. It was so hard for me to resist the urge to buy more tomato plants because they had a lot of tomatoes, man, and the ADHD just wanted to like just get them all because they just looked pretty. And actually, I don't know if that's the ADHD or like the little sprinkle of autism, you know. I joke around and say that like my wife is like fully homozygous fucking dominant, not even homozygous recessive. She's like homozygous dominant for autism. I'm more like a heterozygous, you know, recessive. If you know, you know. Yeah. If you know, you get the joke. If not, just, I don't know, look it up. So anyway, it was really hard for me to resist the urge. But I did it. I only bought one tomato plant only because it is the Golden Jubilee ones. And I actually really like the golden tomatoes. I did plant and I think successfully transplanted some of the chocolate ones. Those are the ones that Emily really likes. But I really like the golden ones. So I went ahead and got that one. And then I did get some serrano peppers because I had started jalapenos and mostly bell peppers. Like I had started like purple bell peppers and green bell peppers. But I didn't like, you know, the other plant that I was looking for was spicy peppers, hence the Calabrian chilies. And so now I have the serrano. These actually go really well. If you make like liquor infusions, if you just take like a little bottle and put like, you know, tequila, and then you just infuse the tequila with the serrano, that can make really, really nice spicy margaritas. Or, you know, in your guac, if you want to have like a spicier version of a guacamole, then you can take it up a notch with the serranos. Not take it so far, you know, down the spicy route that, you know, like a habanero or something worse, like a Scotch bonnet. Don't nobody need that kind of heat in their mouth. Well, at least I don't. Yeah. But this is a good like pepper. I would say Scoville units, which is sort of like the how you measure how hot a pepper is. This lands somewhere between a jalapeno and an habanero. So as far as like hot chiles goes, it's fairly mild. But yeah, so I got that one. And then I got myself some more soil. I'm a big fan of the Fox Farm Ocean Forest, which is this little variety here. This guy, I think you guys have seen me in other videos kind of pull this guy out. So part of the reason that I like that one is that it's a very complete soil. You know, compared to like other soils that you find at like Home Depot or Lowe's or whatnot. Obviously those soils are a lot cheaper, because I'm not gonna lie, it's expensive, but they also tend to be more incomplete. So you end up having to add fertilizer and compost, and like perlite for water retention, right? Or like moisture retention. This guy is just super complete. It has like bad guano in it. And it already has fertilizer, and it has things that keep the soil very moist. So it's like, instead of having to buy the cheap soil and all the additives, I just go ahead and buy the one soil to rule them all. And nobody gets the reference anyway. So yeah, so like I'm a big fan of that. So I ended up buying some of that. I bought some like regular outdoor plant soil for that like front patch project with the snapdragons that I have going on. And then I ended up also getting some pine mulch for that same spot. I'm not like too super concerned about like bugs kind of hiding out in there, because I'm not going to eat anything that is going to be growing over there. But the pine is meant to help with moisture, right? And just kind of so that you're not having to water the plants constantly, especially in the heat. And also it looks nice and it smells really nice. So that's what I ended up getting, on top of all of that. Then I got some of their Fox Farm fertilizer. So they have a bunch of different ones. They even have some that they're meant to kind of like, quote unquote, resuscitate your, like your soil, right? When it's like super dry. But this one is specifically meant for, you know, vegetable and fruit plants. So I got this one. The other thing I got some diatomaceous earth, and can we all just be so impressed that I said that without fumbling, because I'm ESL and also I'm dyslexic, so big words like that with like tons of letters are just not really easy for me to pronounce. But so diatomaceous earth is basically, it's a powder, and so this is an example of it. It's a more natural way of dealing with bugs. So in the other greenhouse right now, where I have all the lettuce, I'm having a little bit of like a fire ant, regular ant, and what's the name of these stupid things? Not millipedes, earwigs. There you go, earwigs infestations. They kind of look like little caterpillars, but they have these like horns. They look kind of scary, but those horns are made for, you know, mating, not to sting you. Anyway, reason why I'm pissed off about it is that they're eating and pooping all over my lettuce, and we're not gonna have that. So this kills them and keeps them off. It's also really good for like spiders. Like if you have a lot of issues with spiders in the summer around the outside, which we do, sort of spraying that with a little bulb is really good at kind of like keeping them away. It can help keep like tiny rodents, even snakes. Like, you know, you can sort of spray this stuff around like the perimeter of your house, and it keeps things away. So I got 2 of these so that I can spray on the grow beds. Just make sure it's food grade if you're going to use it for something that you're going to eat. This happens to be food grade and kind of like pet safe. So that's the one that I got. And then I forgot to bring these outside. They are deliciously cute. So I absolutely cannot finish this video without showing you guys the absolutely cute 2 tiny little baby plants, because obviously I also had to get soil for them, but they're the most adorable fucking thing in the world. Hang on. Never mind my neighbor who is mowing his lawn and doing designs and one-upping me with his little ride-along mower. Okay, you ready? Look at this shit. Look at this. Insert that really annoying sound of Kris Jenner going, perfect, Kris. So look, every time I go there, I'm always looking for the Venus flytraps, and they're kind of like seasonal, so they don't always have them, but today they had them, and I had to use every ounce of restraint to not buy out every single one of their Venus flytraps. And then these guys are an Amazonian bulb plant. So I actually have a larger version of it right over there. Never mind the eBay inventory. And I actually had to cut the bulbs at some point because they had dried out and died. But these guys basically, they secrete this like scent, I guess, that is very sweet to insects. It attracts them, and then they trap the insects in there. When they can get really, really big, and in the wild in the Amazon, they've actually captured them with like rats and other rodents in the bulbs, just, you know, chilling, digesting them, because that's what they do. So honestly, my plan with these is to grow them enough to the point that I can put these in each of the greenhouses, and they can keep my greenhouse insect free, you know, fly free, things like that. I don't want to keep them outside because we have a lot of birds, and if one day I wake up and the big bulb plant has a hummingbird in its grip, I am legitimately going to die. But yes, so you see, look how cute they are, my little baby. Yep. So that was not the plan. That was like 100% not the plan for today, but it's the plan now. Nothing, just sharing with the audience about how the plan was not to go to Knowles for everything that I bought. It was just to get cucumber plants, and I got distracted. Right, guys? Mommy got distracted. Anyway, so yeah, so what we're gonna do in a little bit is try to figure out if, first of all, if we have the bandwidth to transplant some of these things right now. And I'm not sure that I do, but if I do, then I will start moving some of these around into some containers. And then the second thing, they're looking a little dry, so gonna have to water everything today. I can give a little bit of an update on the things that you've seen me do so far. So on my last video, I had just transplanted all of these. So these are all tomatoes. So these are all San Marzanos. They look like they're doing very well since the transplant, and that was just a few days ago. Over here, one of our squash plants is seemingly thriving. So that's our yellow squash. That's the zucchini. And so these are marigolds and some other tomatoes. I got them at the same store that I got everything else. And so this just keeps growing. So, you know, I might at some point be able to either add some of the mini bell pepper ones that I have, or anything else that kind of sprouts from any of this that we seeded in the last video. The pepper plant is growing. She growing. Hello. Galler banana. Yep, you got some little bulbs there. Okay. Our beans are growing. This one's getting fat. Look at this one. Yeah. So I think eventually I'm gonna have to trellis this just to make it nice and strong so that it keeps vining. The corn has actually grown some in just a few days. And then we have over here, so I don't think this guy's gonna make it, but these little guys made it. This one's actually even gotten a little bit bigger since transplanting, so I'm very happy about that. This is some sweet watermelon, and it's growing every single day. The sunflowers are just kind of growing, so those are gonna go outside. Let's see, our blackberry bush just keeps growing, so one of the important tasks is gonna have to be to start pruning that. Our strawberry plant is making strawberries. She's busy. This one's also busy. You can see this one over here. So eventually these guys are gonna start sort of overflowing into this area here. But yeah, she's busy making some strawberries there. Let's see over here. And so we actually did this in the last video, is that we moved a bunch of these little mini bell pepper plants from the starting bucket to this guy. So every single one of these, with the exception of these above here, these are marigolds up here. They're just companion plants, keeps some of the nasties away. Yeah, so this guy is mostly mini bell peppers. Our calamondin is still flowering, and these guys are still alive. They haven't fallen out of the grow bag yet. So I'm just gonna pray and hope that they don't actually fall out and that they just make it. See, still there, still living. The cherry tomatoes, these guys look like this little guy doesn't look like he's gonna make it. But let's see over here on the other side. That one looks like he's doing pretty okay. Yeah, and then see the marigolds up on top, they're growing. Each of these little Samarzano guys is like doing its thing. So I'm actually overall very happy with this hanging garden experiment thus far. Let's see, in the front, actually here, see, that's my other greenhouse. And that's all my lettuce. And I need to prune it. I know I keep saying that in every video that I need to prune it, and I keep not doing it because avoidance of tasks is more important than actually completing the task itself. Anyway, so let's see, let's go over to the front and let's take a look-see over here. So look at the rose garden. The roses are completely blooming. They look absolutely beautiful. I am very, very happy with their growth thus far. And so you see those two patches there? So that's what I'm talking about. That's where the trees were. And so all of this is grass clippings that I just kind of used to fill it in. So idea is that we're just going to put some soil over this. We're going to put that mulch, and we're going to move those plants out here, make it look pretty, so that the gnomes have something to look at. What's up? Oh, hey, Hedwig. Hedwig always scares me. So in the front, so we have a bunch of potatoes. I think I showed them to you in the last video, but they have definitely grown since the last time I showed it to you. And more onions. I am now pretty certain that this is buckwheat. And all of these. And so I think, like I said in the last video, I got them at the store. They had a whole bin filled with sprouting potatoes and sprouting onions, and they were super cheap. They were practically giving them away, and so took advantage of that. And this is my potato bed. So I'm still working on the squash. That's what's getting worked on in the back. So come fall, this will definitely be Hagrid's pumpkin patch. And it looks like I have some cobwebs forming up there, so I'm gonna have to spray that with that diatomaceous earth before Emily has a heart attack over the spiders and the bats that they attract. So there's that. Anyway, so I'm gonna get busy, and hope you enjoyed some of the info that I shared on this video. And yeah, looking forward to sharing some more stuff with you guys. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.